Okay, so now we have another example that we're going to be looking at, similar to the last. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this. So I have sine squared of 2x equals 1/2. So remember, you would just square root both sides. Okay, now here's the key. This is like the one with tangent that we did yesterday. What do you need to put in front of the square root when you square root both sides? Hope you remembered, it's the plus or minus square root 1/2. Okay, so what is this? Because when I think about sine, I can't think of anywhere along the unit circle that it's square root of 1/2. Well, this is the same thing as 1 over the square root of 2. Are you seeing it now? If I rationalize that denominator, I get square root 2 over 2, okay? So just want to make sure that you're thinking clearly about this. So what we know is that the sine of 2x is equal to plus or minus square root 2. Okay, so there are a few things you need to think about here. First thing you need to think about, unit circle, where is this happening? You know that that's happening. The positive ones are happening up here we're in radians, pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, down here at 5 pi over 4, and down here at 7 pi over 4. So we know it's happening all 4 of those places because we have both the positive and the negative version. So we're looking at all 4 of these. The other thing you need to think about is, what does this 2 do inside here? What does this do? Well, if you think about it, it changes our period, right? It changes the amount of times it takes to make a full rotation. So our initial answers are going to be 2x is equal to all of these things that we've written. 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4. But we know that we are looking over what happens during the interval from 0 to 2 pi. So you have to think, what is a period now? Well, a period in this, because you're doing sine of 2x, is 2 pi divided by 2. So a period is pi. So we're going to actually have to include an entire other cycle so that we can include another pi, right? Another cycle when we divide this by 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide this by, I'm gonna keep going another set of cycles just to show you what you do. So you just continue adding that, those 2 in the denominator. You're adding a half every time. So I'm gonna have 9 pi over 4, 11 pi over 4, 13 pi over 4, and 15 pi over 4. So you just continue adding that every single time. Think about it, 1, 4, 3, 4, 5, 7. You just keep going, 9, 11, 13, 15, all of those over 4. So this is that additional cycle that we need because our period is only 2 pi, and we have to go from the range 0 to 2 pi. So if you're not quite getting that, I'm happy to chat with you about how to explain that farther, but you'll see once we finish. So now we have 2x equals all of these values. So all you need to do to get your x is take each of these values and divide them by 2, which means your denominator is now just 8. Oops. Okay, and then it goes to 9 pi over 8, 11 pi, 13, and 15 pi over 8. So that includes all possible values in this original function that will yield that square root 2 over 2, positive or negative, in your original function.